Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Master Division with various win for the Watfield Sands in the Michigan Lynx tournament here in Golf Clash the game. Before we take a close look at all the videos, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. Do what more than 2,000 players has already done for April. Sign up to any of our tour or tournament guide packages on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. We do have the link in the description down below. You can also scan the QR code here on the screen and you will go directly to the platform. Follow the info box on the right hand side to get the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there is always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. So on the drive here, we're gonna start at the top of plus 24 yard mark. White rain to the left by the rough line, and we're going to then apply one left spin, 6.5 bar top spin. This shot has been tested with a wind 5 and a wind 4 ball. It's not tested with luminary at all, or wind 3 ball. Adjust max plus 10 P4. And once we have done that, we shall not push up anything with a poke 6, 7 and 8, but with a poke 5 we push up one ring. We want to have the rubber band just left of the most left triangle. I judge that to be somewhere between, I would say 1.5 ball of left curl. Bounces on the fairway, the ball rolls down the fairway and being very consistent to be around 395 yards. Sorry, 435 yards. Oh my god, can't talk today. 435 yards to 440 yards. What has to be said though, I tried to send it with a couple of all balls and didn't really like the inconsistency with that. So I'm laying up, but there's definitely a chance of getting the ball up to around the green if being very lucky with a send it. For the second shot, we are going to use our bullseye by the fringe line, where the fringe meets the fairway. Fringe meets the green, and then we're going to apply 3.4 backspin is going to be in the end. We're looking to have the top of the white ring to be just by the fringe line, and we want the tip of the ball guideline to be approximately 1.5 green square short of pin. So in my opinion, we are a little bit too far here in this video. Sure, it will still be fine, as it's just that we will be coming in a little bit too hot. Now we're gonna have our base at plus 2, plus 2, yeah. Plus 2 is going to be 30% slider with a 20% elevation, P3 numbers. And we're gonna pull one time over bullseye. Bounce on the fairway, rolls up the green, and we're getting it dead center for a lovely eagle. Get our guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy and look for the ultimate tournament guide packages. On hole number 2, we're going to play for a rough bump into the massive funnel. I want to play 3.7 top spin and 4 left spin. We're looking now to have the blue ring to be by the sand trap line, and you have the top of the yellow ring to be just by the edge of the rough line. Adjustment here now is 1-to-1 plus 1.8, so I'm adjusting 9.5 rings for 7.7 miles per hour. There will only be 2 wind angles here to start with this, as we're playing into a massive funnel, and I do not believe that we need a lot of wind angle tweaks. This shot here in particular is not tested yet by a with a wind 4 free to play ball. We are going to test with that and obviously upload if that works. The goal is to get the ball to be by the edge of the green and then to fall back down. If you do go up onto the fringe, you're using too much topspin and then you will miss low, or let's say you will miss to the right of the pin looking at it from the tee. This is a very good chance for an hole-in-one in my opinion. Get the guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy for all the details. On the drive on hole number 3, we're going to play with a luminary. My only intention here is an eagle, but we do have an outside chance for an albatross, but we need to be a little bit lucky on the approach. This is the more tailwind angle of drive, and this is the important part here in my opinion. We need to pay attention to the wind angle and tweak the topspin accordingly. Adjustment max plus 10 P5 after having the bullseye by the rough line at complete max. Pushing up 6 strings with a poke 8, we're obviously going to have different push up for the different apocalypse levels due to its accuracy. In this angle, in the tailwind, playing 5.5 topspin. In the more crosswind angle, we're playing 5.8 topspin instead. Curl, where the center line is just right of the most left triangle, and max overpower with a slower needle, and we want to bounce on the fairway into the rough to roll out. Even though it may not look like that, but there is a lot of room. Goal is to get to around 450 to 460 yards, but to be completely honest, if you just get through the rough, and even if you roll longer, it's still going to be an easy way to transport the ball to green. So here on the second shot, 2 left spin and 0.8 top spin. We're stretching out to have the tip of the ball guideline pointing towards the rough line. I understand that with a lower level cataclysm, the ball guideline will not be exactly the same because you don't have the good ball guideline. Then you're estimating based on your third bounce. Then you release max plus 10 P5. And once we have adjusted that, we're going to go full curl to the left and max overpower with a slightly slower needle. There is miles of room for great left and great right, so there is no risk really with this shot. But with a perfect ball, and obviously with a decent amount of luck, the albatross may be there. And once again, I mean, this is a free-to-play ball play. It's a qualifying round ball play, because I do not believe really in that we should be pushing too hard for the albatross from a qualifying round perspective, which in the end would make us maybe get to a point where we are losing out on the eagle. So this is, in my opinion, safe eagle play where we do have an outside chance for an albatross. Get the guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Hole number 4, I would say that this is a tough par 3 in general, but I have very good success with this one in practice. So what we're gonna do here is that we're going to use the top of the red ring by the sand trap line, left side of the blue ring by the rough line, using 3 left spin and 3.9 backspin. You can see that we do have the tip of the ball guideline somewhat in between the dark and the bright green square row as well. This is going to be the yellow angle, and we are going to call for this one as in general it's going to be called for 1 click of left curl. That's what we're gonna do, but as we do have low wind, I'm not doing anything here. Bounces on the fairway, takes that little down slope to slow the ball down, and it rolls down, and getting this one to drop right a pin for a lovely hole in 1. So hole number 4, this has only been tested with a wind 5 ball so far. We are continuing testing with a free-to-play ball option, which we will have in the guide as well. Scan the QR code on the screen or get the guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Take your game to the next level with our ultimate tournament text guides for Pro, Expert and Master Division Michigan Links Tournament. We are adapting for the wind changes throughout the week. We do have the most solid platform for you to improve your game as a player. So scan the QR code here on the screen, or you use the link patreon.com/golfclashtommy that is in the description down below. That will take you to the page where you find all our packages, and you can see that we do offer tour guides and also tournament guides for 18-hole tournaments and 9-hole cups. So make sure to sign up and start do what more than 2,000 players has done already in April to improve your Golf Clash game. Alright, hole number 5 here. This will be option number 2 in our guide. It doesn't show, but I'm starting at the top of, not top, but max P4, which is plus 24. And the reason it shows plus 16 is because I'm doing a ball swap. So bullseye by the rough line adjustment is max plus 10 P4. If you do not want to play with a new ball that has side spin 3 with a P4 win 5, then you swap to any P3 side spin 2 plus win 5 after you have made the adjustment with your P4 win 5 ball. Pushing up 9 yards here now, and it should be plus 15, so I need to back up just a little bit, and it should be to the top of that plus yardage. So plus 15 it is. Then we're gonna center the ball and it's perfect. Faulty adjustments here, bad pull angles, off centering, and just poor great balls could all be in the risk of not getting over to the fairway island here as we would like. And that is something you need to have in mind, because that's the risk you take. Once getting over here, you do have a shot for an albatross, which is what we're looking for. But if you are not interested in taking any risk, especially if it is the qualifying round, then you can just go with option number 1 in the guide, which is just a safe one, so to speak, but the albatross will be extremely rare with that one. Last but not least, pack the sniper as a wood club, because we're gonna do the back frame check with our sniper on the second shot. On the second shot, we're going to do a rough bump, and we're going to first do a back frame check with our sniper. So it is important that you do have the sniper packed, as I said in the drive video. So the frame check is going to be where the fringe meets the fairway at the back of the green. 3.2 top spin, 2 right spin, red ring now by the rough line with B52 7 and 8, B52 5 and 6. Can still play this shot, but B52 5 and 6 needs to just barely overlap due to its slightly lesser accuracy. Now we're going to have plus 6 frame check as a base, and that's going to be 100% slider plus 45% elevation, P1 numbers, pulling twice over bullseye. And here I'm deducting 0.2 as we have the frame check of plus 4. We will be having wind angle tweaks here as well, so as always, for the full details of the shot, then make sure to go and download the guide. Bounce on the rough like that and rolls down and getting it dead center for a lovely drop here. And again, you know, this is an aggressive shot. We have multiply options in the guide for those that do want to play aggressive and go for an albatross, and for those that do not want to do that, it's up to you obviously to decide. But this is one of the 3 options that we will have in the guide, so make sure to get all the options by going to patreon.com/golf-tommy and subscribe. You can also scan the QR code on the screen and go directly there. So on the drive, we're going to start with a power 3 ball. Doesn't matter what power 3 ball you want to start with, because we're going to start at the top of plus 16. For those that do not want to do a ball swap, you can start directly with a power 5 win 5 or a power 4 win 5 at the top of plus 16. 1 right spin and as much top spin that you can. Adjust is max plus 10 P4, and then we're going to apply max curl to the right and specific overpower amount depending on what apocalypse level you possess. A great left is fine, great right is fine, perfect is fine. And we're gonna bounce on the fairway, and we are looking to have those dead bounces as I'm having here in the video. I think that's going to be the best way, because then we can use landing position plus yardage on the approach. 405 yards is great. I have no issues with that at all. There will be a risk for a glitch roll as well. I might not want to say it's a risk, because it's actually a good chance from there too, but it can happen that you do get a glitch roll, and if you do, then you will have to focus on the fringe check second shot, and if you do have the dead bounces, it's always going to be landing position check. On the second shot here, when we do have to do a fringe check, you can see here now that I'm at plus 1. We're going to use plus 10 as a best base. That's to align it with if we do with our landing position check. 4.8 top spin if we do have a longer drive. 1 right spin always. Ball guideline through the hole. Now, when it comes to the adjustment, it's going to be 54% slider with a 20% elevation, P5 numbers. And we're going to pull over the bullseye twice. adjustment is done, and then we're going to center the ball and do our very best to hit perfect. With a perfect ball here, I do believe this is a very good chance for a drop. Once again, you don't have to play with a P5 win 5 ball, but there is definitely value in that, both on the drive but also on the second shot, especially if it falls super short on your drive. Dead center, I will take it all day and every day. So after our standard drive, now we're going to play with our landing position plus yardage. I'm gonna go 4.5 bar top spin and 1 right spin. So it's going to be a slightly different spins compared to if you do have a longer drive. Now, top of the blue ring by the rough line, ball guideline through the hole, and we are at +8. We're gonna have our base at +10, which is going to be 84% slider with a 20% elevation, P5 numbers. Pull twice over the bullseye, always, when it comes to our adjust here. You can see here now that we are adjusting from +10 up to +12, which tells us that when max line with a B52 is +17, that I would say a +14 landing position would be the highest we can start adjust from. So if you would be having a very short drive, I'm thinking like just below 400 yards, then consider in the end doing then consider starting a little bit further back instead, and use a little bit more topspin to compensate, just so you don't pull in between clubs when you pull your reins. But that's going to be, I mean, if you mess up the drive completely, I just wanted to add that at least here into the video. Get our guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. You can scan the QR code as well and get directly there. Hole number 7, I try so hard to not call this money, but it has been really good. Starting with the rocket in complete max with a power 0 ball, and then blue ring by the sand line. Those of you playing with the season 44 ball, that blue white ball, could just stay with that all the way through if you would like. 3.1 left spin, 1 click after 3, and then 1 top spin. So you can see here now that I'm swapping to a quantum ball, and this is because I feel it's easier for me to center this ball than what it is on the other ball. So basically you can swap to whatever side spin 4, win 5 ball after you have set it up with a power 0 ball. So it's up to you to do what you feel confident in doing. Adjust is 1-1 minus 0.1, and there is no wind angle tweaks here. We're gonna bounce on the fairway before the green, and then it's going to take the turn into the funnel on the green, and we're dropping this one dead center for a lovely hole-in-one. Hole 7, really good chance. We will obviously be testing for win 4, such as free-to-play ball shots in before the guide comes out. Get our guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. You can also scan the QR code on the screen and go directly there. YOLO option, which I would say like this. We will recommend this if it is in a tailwind angle. In a crosswind, especially in the lower winds, it's going to be difficult to carry as far as we want to catch that upslope on the fairway, and then there is a big risk of you falling short. So me saying that now needs to be something you have in mind if you're going to play this shot. I mean, the wind angle decides a lot here, and we have a different option that is really good as well. It's tough, but it's really good. So what we're having here now is that we're looking at it from a tailwind perspective, and we're starting with the target to be over the small bush, and we're gonna go full blast overpower with a full right curl and go for a slice. The spins will vary depending on what angle you have and what strength you have. Obviously you can just do whatever and hope for the best, but if you want to have the best possible success, you need to follow the tables that are in the guide. This is a shot that has been in our guide before, with the success that I described about the fact that you in crosswind is going to be more difficult to get the success we want, whereof in tailwind is going to be a good chance to get the ball to green or very close to green. So if you end up playing with a wedge, we recommend to play normal EB school without spin with plus 20 P5. If you're playing max top spin with EB7 and EB8, you play minus 35% elevation P4 numbers. And the max top spin is most definitely the one that is the recommended version here. I'm playing the no spin here just to try and test the numbers, and even if I hit a very poor great left, I'm super lucky that I do have the Endbringer packed. Otherwise it would most definitely would have missed. So center the ball, massive ball this one, the summer ball, and then yeah, we take a 360 and then we'll take the eagle. So in the end, the YOLO option is very interesting, and for me, I'm gonna play it if the wind angle is correct. So I'm always going to check for that first, and then after that I will then decide if I'm going to play the layup version, or I'm going to play this one here in the qualifying round. Get our guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. You can also scan the QR code on the screen and get directly to our guides. Start with any power 1 ball in NMT, and then we're swapping to a power 5 wind 4 ball. This shot has not been tested with a wind 3 ball as per yet. So we're gonna have 4.5 top spin, half a bar left spin, adjust is max plus 10 P3. So even if we play with a power 5 ball, we're playing power 3 numbers with our adjust. Max curl to the left and max overpower with a completely slow needle and try to hit. Perfect. Ball will bounce on the fairway over the rough line, and we're gonna be around 380 to 385 yards every single time. This drive has been super consistent, which always is helpful when it comes to dialing in a fairly long second shot that we're gonna do now. Second shot here on hole number 9. We shall always go with 1 top spin and 2 a right spin. And now we're going to look to have the ball guideline through the hole in a specific way. It's going to be loads through the hole, but this is all accounted for when it comes to the headwind. You can see here that I'm having approximately 1/3 of the red ring overlapping. It's going to be approximately around that, but the reason I don't want you to focus on the ring's position is due to the fact that the rough line is not straight. So by using the tip of the ball guideline as a reference on how much through the hole will then help you getting the correct speed. We will still use the landing position plus yardage as a reference for a slider, which means that it doesn't really going to matter that much if we are just a little bit off with our ring's position. So it's all about getting the correct speed here, which obviously is the tricky part. So perfect ball, we're getting it dead center. We're looking to have a 56% slider, plus 10% elevation, P4 numbers as a base for plus 5. And then we're adding or subtracting 0.1 from there. There will also be wind angle tweaks on the second shot, which will be displayed in the guide. Get our guide, the best guides on the market for pro, expert and master, by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. You can also scan the QR code that you see here on the screen. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough with various wins for Master Division for the Michigan Links tournament here in Golf Clash the game. Make sure to scan the QR code or use the link patreon.com/golfclashtom for the best guides on the market for tour play and tournament play. So scan or use the link and start improving your game from today. Thank you so much once again everyone for watching, and a massive good luck in your Golf Clash game.